Hey YouTube, I have a doozy of a standard deck to bring you today. For all you fans of an old archetype called the Living End, well, have I got great news for you. Because with the Spider-Man set, for all the underwhelming junk that happened to be in that set for the standard community, let me tell you, there is one card that has managed to revive a really interesting archetype. Kavero Mindbitten, aka Superior Spider-Man, is a 4-mana 4/4 for Dimir that comes in as a copy of a card in your graveyard. That, sounds pretty straightforward. It actually has a really fascinating interaction with an old card from Lost Caverns of Ixalan. This is Bringer of the Last Gift. This is Living End on a stick. This is a 6/6 vampire flyer, but you are playing it for its enters the battlefield trigger. Now, interestingly, this card is normally gate kept by the fact you have to cast it. However, Kavero here, entering the battlefield as a copy of it, completely trivializes that interaction. Effectively, what you do now is build a deck that mills itself rapidly and reanimates your whole graveyard at once on turn 4. There are plenty of good ways to do this in Standard right now. We have Black Overlord, we have Awaken the Honored Dead, which is a piece of removal as well as self-mill. Town Greeter actually lets us get away with running not as many lands in this deck because it's able to grab a land from your graveyard that you mill. It's also a mill 4 for 2, which is perfect for a deck like this. Now, interestingly, the deck that won the MTGO challenge that I'm basing this off is, funny enough, not having a sideboard listed with it at the moment. Since this is a relatively new archetype, we're really brewing, I found myself only really relying on a handful of cards. So again, this is a developing deck, and I didn't really need to change too many cards in the main game plan to find success. We took this to pretty decent mythic rank and had some absolute crackers of games. So if you're a fan of self-mill and reanimating all your cards at once, this is the absolute kind of deck for you. 100% give it a whirl, particularly if you're looking for something relatively new in this standard that is filled with Izzet Cauldron and mono red aggro. So if you like decks like this, feel free to chuck us a sub. Until then, see you in the next one. Cheers. That I could just focus on getting the card I need to the graveyard on turn 4. We'll keep this. This is pretty good, actually. See what our opponent does. We'll probably Town Greeter on 2. Because we do want to hit that next land drop if we can. Oh, definitely. If he shocks this, Overlord gets a target. Ooh, don't mind if I do. If Town Greeter eats a Burst Lightning, we're very happy. Also, guys, already a way different game. Bringer of the Last Gift in our grave. This is it. This is the one, guys. Oh, it's an Izzet player as well. We'll see what opponent does here. We'll just impend an Overlord, mill some more cards. So we just need one land. We'll grab the Scholar. Is opponent Jeskai control? Or they is it? I can't tell. They're oh, okay, they're this. Sure, buddy. We did not hit our next land drop, sadly. We could Wail of the Forgotten to hit our 4th land drop in Bitter Triumph. Statistically, that surely works, right? I think that's what we do. We get so much, yeah, okay, cool. Excellent. And we'll just chill. We'll hold Bitter Triumph to upset their VV turn. We can't remove VV without them spending mana, because otherwise they're just going to Cauldron it. And then that's a big problem for us. Profits, sure, dude. I would like old mate to spend some more mana first. Maybe I respond to the Prof's trigger? Yeah, there you go. This is why you, shut that down. So Agatha's is going to hit my Bringer, which is fine. Alright, we don't... That's a weird target to hit. We'll remove this now, I reckon. And we'll just bin this Overlord. He can protect it with a counterspell, I guess, but I think... Even if he keeps VV alive here, he's not going to have a pop-off turn. He's used too many of his important resources here. He just floats the 2, does he? He just spite removes my greeter. Sure, dude. Sure. Do we do the thing? What's in our bin? Vein Ripper, Overlord. Yeah, I think we do it. Let her rip. And we will... So we can use Cavero and Vivi, interestingly, but I think we'll just do Bringer. It's too good. Oh, this is the other Cavero. Yeah, we'll take that. Oh, look at that. Beautiful triggers. And we'll put another Cavero in our hand. And why not a Town Greeter? Excellent. Alright, you'll move opponent. And that's what you do. So he needs to win on the spot. He's got a VV at his grave, but honestly, I can't see him coming out and stealing the game from me with this. He's got no creatures in his hand from the looks of things. Although he probably drew one there and can buff it with Profts. Another VV in the bin. So exiling VV was redundant there. This deck has a lot of ways to hate out the graveyard too, which honestly I reckon is one of its big strengths. I don't think I've ever seen this deck include Opt, genuinely. That's how you beat Cauldron, guys. Alrighty. Honestly, I hate Tempest Heart in this deck. I think I'm starting to like take the Omniscience route. So Simic Omniscience runs this like crappy card called Unauthorized Exit because it gives it extra card selection and acts as a removal spell. I think it might have a home here too. Which I guess inherently means it can't be crappy, right? Is this a keeper? Sure, we can answer early threats. I'm still learning what a good hand is. Like, we're not doing anything for the first 2 turns. Neither is our opponent, apparently, so... We just gotta hope our opponent doesn't VV us here, I guess. Or else he's gonna get a little bit of tempo. Never lucky. So, I think we have to awaken the Honored Dead here. I think we have to hit Vivi and force the Cauldron to soak him up this turn. Doesn't feel great. He's going to have a pop-off turn. We have to kind of accept that. But the next Awaken the Honored Dead will hit the Cauldron. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, so he's going to have double Vivi here. That's pretty unfortunate for me. Doesn't look like he has another play, though. Maybe he does. So Vivi can give him 2 mana here? He needs to draw... He needs to discard cards here for this to get crazy. Okay, does not discard cards. What's in our grave? Alright. Nothing exciting yet. He's tapped out. Pretty much. So his hand is just dog water. The annoying thing is I have to deal with this Cauldron this turn, but this Shark could get big. And Harvester of Misery is like the best answer I have. It's the best it's going to be at dealing with it. I still have to do this, though. Alright, that cauldron has to go. Get out of the way, please, piece of paper. Alright. We just gotta hope he's just, like, got garbage in his hand. Winter Night Stories would be very scary here. That is an interesting one. So Vivi can put mana into that, I guess? So he's used his Vivi mana. I don't think he realized he lost the the second half of the Cauldron mana just then to the... He doesn't have 2 Vivi abilities anymore because I removed the Cauldron. Oh, there we go. That's a great draw. Return target creature or land. I should have ordered him. Yeah, I really should have ordered them. That was a foolish move. Alright, we'll take one of those. And we have to take Starting Town, sadly. So we should have done the Mill 3 first. Yeah, and there's a shock land that we can actually play. What do we do, guys? I'm thinking we remove Vivi. And we'll just bin the Vein Ripper. We're not playing that card fairly, ever. Has he got a negate? Nope. Love to see it. The really nice thing about Harvester of Misery is that we can discard this card, and he actually can't counter it unless he can counter target ability. Because it's not actually a spell we're casting. Makes it a very cheeky card to get under blue players who hold up counter magic Winter Night Stories. So this card needs to be dealt with now. Because that thing is about to get too big for us. Yeah, there we go. So that was the threat on his board. So we just stopped it from getting +3/+3. That was very necessary. So discard a card. What do we grab? Probably Harvester. So, and then we create... Oh, we just drew a Harvester, hey. So in that case, I'm going to grab Steam Core Scholar, and I'm going to grab... I thought I had a Black Overlord in here. That's fine. I think we grab Town Greeter. Numbskull with the 68-person raid. My guy, you're a goat. Hope you had a good stream, dude. That's got to be, that's a little bit of a mind-blowing amount of people, I'm going to be honest. Numbskull told us to show some love. Oh my god, hang on. I've got to actually increase the size of my chat box in my OBS now. You're blowing my mind, guys. Tried to get one more yet for the 69. Ah, dude, it's the thought that counts, right? But yeah, thanks for stopping by, dude. I hope your stream was a good one. I'll keep you... Do you have a name for for the Numbskull audience? Are they the Numbskulls, plural? I'll keep the Numbskulls occupied. Thanks for the follow, by the way, buddy. Really appreciate it. As well as you, Necro. For those of you just joining, my name is Jerry. I play Magic the Gathering, semi-professionally. I only got into Standard recently, but I'm a bit of a card game guy. Well, I like to think I am. And we're at that point in Standard where the meta is stale as, like, moldy bread, so I'm here basically trying to break the game. Thank you for the follow, Lord Sephiroth. Appreciate you, man. Our opponent has had 3 VVs so far. So, look, Magic is making this a bit of a challenge for us, but we will do our best here to take him down, I say. Someone needs to keep the VV menace down. Okay, he's actually cooking me right now. Does he use the ability? Alright, cool. Alrighty. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Hey, that's pretty good. Just joined. Standard is a bop. Standard is definitely not the top tier meta. Oh, look. Are you playing, like, what's your format, Sephiroth? Down with Vivi. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm ready to see Vivi disappear, I think. We can put a little bit of hurt on him here, though. Let's go Whale of the Forgotten, and we're going to choose all these modes. And we're going to send this back to your hand, buddy. And make you discard a card. We'll see what he bins. He probably won't bin Vivi, right? He bins the other card, right? You play Historic? Oh, you're psycho, dude. That format is horrifying. Also, hang on. Do we have combo? We might have the funny combo right now, guys. No, we don't. No Bringer of Last Light in the grave yet. But let's get Town Greeter down. And look, we found the Bringer. Alright, so next turn we can combo off. Love the danger. Look, honestly, I'm daring him to deal 7 to me right now. I don't see it. He's got... Yeah, there we go. Alright, chat, you ready? This is how it works. We bring in Cavero, and he cheats on a rule when they printed Bringer of the Last Gift. They said you had to cast it to get its Living End effect. Well, unfortunately for Wizards, I don't think they realized when they printed a 4-mana card that enters as a copy of a creature in your grave, it would break this text. Because we're about to do this. And I think we will wipe the board and reanimate everything. Don't mind if I do. And we will come in as a copy of another Harvester, I think, for the super board wipe. So with 3 Harvesters on the stack and this Vein Ripper, that's the game. And look, we already were on 7 health. Look how much health we're on now. No problem. Look, I would say poor opponent too, but this is a VV player, so I think it's about sending a message, right? What do we reckon? Is this guy going to be a mono red player, or is he going to be a Izzet player? Is it Cauldron? Doesn't Twitch let you do a betting thing? Where you can like bet on if X or Y is going to happen? I should have a poll. I'm new to Twitch, so I'm not too familiar how to do those plugins yet. All right. Oh, this hand's gas. Basically, this hand, or this deck, is keep a hand with a little bit of interaction and a bunch of mill. Oh, is this white tokens? I've never played so many Smash Everything decks as this standard meta, truly. Predictions are affiliate only. Well, it's funny you say that. Because Twitch did invite me to be an affiliate, but I'm really on the fence on whether or not I should do it. Because I don't want to, like, serve ads to you guys. I feel like that's so obnoxious. Particularly while I'm, like, finding my feet. I feel like that's, like, the biggest, like... People will just be like, nope, I'm out. Immediately. As soon as they see the ad. I don't want to do that to people. Starting town, please. It's part of the culture, you got it? You reckon? I reckon I'll build a little bit more of an audience before I go for something like that. I don't know. I think I'm just thinking it from how I would perceive it. Like, it's like... maybe I'm too ADHD brained, but, like, I see the ad and, like, I immediately alt-tab and look for something else to do while it's playing. That's just me, though. So, Numbskull, are you, like, a historic main? Is that, like, do you only play historic? Do you play other formats? I feel like there's an obligatory, do you play Commander question stuck in there. Oh, you do standard? Oh, hell yeah, dude. You a fellow deck connoisseur? Not gonna lie, if there's ads and I wasn't responded to, I'm likely to dip unless it's a fave. Yeah, exactly, right? I feel like, it's all good. I think, you know, streamers should be able to get the bag. But at the same time, like, I'm like, not making a living off streaming, right? I do this for fun. So at the end of the day, I feel like having ads kind of defeats the purpose. Maybe one day. In paper, you do Pioneer and sometimes Modern. You love playing Mono Black. Oh, dude, that sounds sick. It's a shame Pioneer in paper feels like it's just not really firing at the moment. I guess it's because... I don't know if it's the same way you are, but Pioneer, where I live, is just like, it's never happening. There's people who really like the format, but no stores are supporting it at the moment because of the support for Standard and Modern at the moment. Alright, I gotta actually think about what turn I want to do here. Alright, he's just bouncing. Oh, this is Selesnya. This is the Selesnya cage deck. We'll just fire off the game plan, I think. There's a world where I could Steam Core Scholar here, but honestly, I think I'll just send the... Oh, I should have removed the Lantern. Oh, dude, I'm trolling. I'm such a troll. Alright, I gotta lock in now. Pioneer was smothered by the plague. Yeah, true. That makes a lot of sense. I only got into Magic the Gathering in COVID, where my roommate introduced me to Commander. I played a lot of card games at the time, but never really touched Magic, and he's just like, dude, you gotta try this. And then naturally, once you play one format, you kind of start taking an interest in others. And then Standard is kind of what I settled on, because I really like to, like, chase card games competitively. I don't really dip into Modern, because that format is a lot more expensive. And that's saying something, because Modern decks, or Standard decks right now, are not cheap. Cool roommate? Yeah, he is pretty alright. This Soul Guide Lantern being on the battlefield is making things a little bit more problematic for me, sadly. Because he's just going to bin this to get rid of my graveyard, sadly. Yeah, and all these good targets. What do you reckon? Let's see if we can force... If we Cavero here, do you reckon we force the Lantern out of him? That's probably the thing to do. I'm going to do it. Because I'm going to grab Harvester of Misery otherwise and just wipe his board. We don't mind playing a 4/4 to remove this Lantern, I think. It's your only Pyro deck. Yeah. I don't actually have a Pyro deck, so... Though I reckon if I played Pioneer, I'd probably just bring a Standard deck at this point, because it seems like Standard decks... Like, Pioneer decks, when I look at lists, they're like majority Standard decks. With like 1 or 2 gas cards from a few years ago, like Fable of the Mirror Breaker or something. Oh, actually, check this technology out, chat. We're a Pixie, and we're gonna bounce our Awaken the Honored Dead home. That's crazy. That is so cool. Yeah, if you play Mono Red, yeah, those are the lists I'm looking at. It's like Mono Red aggro right now is just like mice from Standard with Fable of the Mirror Breaker and that giant from D&D. Dude, what does my opponent do against this thing? It's a 5/5. Alright. I gotta lock in for a second here. I think we'll impend. And hopefully we hit a town greeter. That would be great. We get another Cavero. I'll take it. I'm going to send this on an adventure, I think. And that way we can bin the Bringer. And a Vein Ripper, I guess. We'll make him have to have a graveyard card. I'm not even going to swing. I want to get crushed by Ouroboros this turn, which is one of this deck's most scary cards. Especially since I can't hold up removal. So with these cards, yeah, so there's Gear Hulk. Does he have another way to hit the graveyard? I think this deck usually only runs one Soul Guide Lantern. Game 1. He might have multiple later. Grabs the Reliquary. So I guess Cavero gets eaten here? Sure. What's in his grave? Nothing. So Bringer of the Last Light coming in will actually be a board wipe without the shade. We'll take the damage here. Oh, actually, no. We want Town Greeter to die here. Yeah, it's a big-ass pixie. Alright, I think we get him here with this silly little maneuver. So we play Kavero here. He comes in as Bringer, which is going to wipe the board. Yeah, we have to do it this way, because we want to bring in the Bringer. And then we bring all this stuff in. And look at that, we even get a land for our trouble. This deck's fun. You've got some weird angles you play with this deck. I'm a big fan. The fact that it brings in the Bringer instead of exiling it is it's so silly. Because of the way the stack works. No deck list for this one, unfortunately. I'll share the link to the original list that the guy won the MTGO with, though, for it. He doesn't have a sideboard, which is absolutely whacked out. Also, welcome to the stream, Gank. Enjoy your stay, buddy. I hope I'm saying your name right. What can you do with your opponent there? I think you just scoop it. You just scoop it up. Whale of the Forgotten against this guy. Do I want that? Whale of the Forgotten is like a sorcery speed unauthorized exit most of the time. Well, it's like a cooked version of it. We'll run with this. Again, like, I understand why the guy didn't swap his sideboard out. What a nice sideboard. No, you're right, Mike. This is actually, I have added cards to the sideboard. Would you believe me if I told you this? The guy won the MTGO without it. Let me grab that deck list for you, hey? Nope. Oh, just managed to get in before the ad started playing. Huge. And the deck list for this one is... I might as well just keep this on my clipboard, hey? So this is without my sideboard, which is, by the way, literally just me putting in negate. No, that is not the list. Sideboards are stuff that should have been your deck. Think of sideboards as a way to equalize against matchups that you think you're going to run into a lot. I think the thing about this deck and why it gets away with not having a sideboard is because it's so left field. Like, unless... I think specifically, like, even if you run Rest in Peace, by the way, which you would think naturally hates out a deck like this that's trying to cheese out of the graveyard, because you run so many cards that hit non-land permanents, you can haze Rest in Peace. Like, I don't think there's a matchup here that is, like, unbeatable. That's why it was, like... You also want to be all in on combo. Yeah, exactly. The sideboard slots that you think of, they need to not hinder your combo. Which is easier said than done. Like, Awaken the Honored Dead, by the way, does so much heavy lifting in this deck. This deck would not exist if not for Awaken the Honored Dead. It's removal, it's card selection, it's milling, it's everything you need in this deck. Let's go milling. So if he plays Soul Guide Lantern early, this will remove it again. We'll grab a Town Greeter, because Town Greeter is another heavy lifter in this deck. You'd think for a bulk common, it's a total joke. But mill 4 and gives you a land. And you're on starting town, so you can heal a bit. Alright, against opponent. I think we just... Do we fire off Awaken the Honored Dead here? I think we do. Make a reanimated deck and then swap out reanimation for mana artifacts on game 2. I mean, you can do that. I've seen a few decks try out the Soulstone for both, because remember, it's a mana rock and also like this really slow reanimation card. But you can activate it on your opponent's end step. It hasn't really taken off yet, though. It being indestructible is cute, though. Gives it a little bit of inevitability. There's not many cards in Standard that hate out the Soulstone right now. Opponent is very suspiciously holding up a lot of mana here. What do we mill? So we got Bringer. We can do combo this turn if we want. We have 2 Kavaras in hand. What do you reckon, guys? What card gets us here? Kutzel's Flanker, maybe? He could run the 3-mana flash creature that exiles graveyards. And if he does that, what happens? I think we just lose... we get a 4/4. Yeah, Virtue on a Mana Rock. Is it worth it? I think it's an interesting one-of in some decks. The problem it has is Standard is very quick right now. Alright, let's send it. Let's see what he's got. Maybe... No, he can't even interrupt me. Kutzel's Flanker is what I'm thinking he might have here, if he has a response to this. Alright, here's a Bringer. We're gonna do it again, guys. That is so gross. So we'll just get all these triggers. Draw some cards. Do we want to discard 2? I think we do. And we'll discard probably the Vein Ripper. And we'll take the other Kavara. So this copy he enters in... So normally he exiles the card he comes in as a copy of. But because we reanimate the Bringer of the Last Gift, it actually is not a target anymore for it to exile. So now opponent pretty much is board wipe or bust here. And that deck list. Sorry, I'm getting strung between things. I'm on that deck list right now.
Hey.
Don't play ad. Why did I get the ASMR ad? What the hell? You guys hear that? He's like, hey. And opponent scoops it up. Alright, here's the deck. Perfect timing. Holy crap, hand. What is this? Bit better. I think we bin the Vein Ripper. We can discard it to Steam Core Stole it, to be fair. But I kind of like everything else. We'll be fine. Tap land, pass. You'll go, opponent. Yeah, we want the land, so let's Tau and Greeter it up. And we hit a shock. Sure, I would have liked a starting town, but that's fine too. So this is the kind of deck where they're not going to bother trying to interact with us winning on turn 4. So we just want to fast look for our win con. I'll let him have that. Unfortunately, we have to shock ourselves here. So I would like to slow him down a little bit if I can. Awaken the Honored Dead will be doing some heavy lifting. And then next turn is our big mill turn. We pitch the Overlord. Oh, and we can hold up Harvester of Misery. That's great for us. We hit a Bringer. What's in the bin right now? Also, opponent on 1 land? Okay, buddy. He kept that. This is a 96% gaming right here. I guess I'm happy to take all this damage now if our opponent's not going to put up a real threat. Did he not draw a land again? Oh my god. He'll scoop as soon as I remove this. Or he'll just scoop now, I guess. I'm going to try Tempestard in for unauthorized exit. I feel like against red, every spell that isn't like... Spells either have to put a creature on the board and interact. We can't just be milling for free. Unauthorized exit at least lets us surveil 1 while removing something. It's the same logic that Simic Omniscience uses. I'm actually kind of curious. Are people here vibing with current standard? I know we have the VV problem, and mono red's pretty good too. But like, it still feels like despite that, there's some world where you could brew at least. But I could be like huffing copium. Do I think VV should be banned? Let me preface it and say yes. But like, I think people are so sick to death of VV Cauldron that you never run into it on ladder anymore. It's like, we've come full circle. We'll just shock and pass, why not? Razorkin. Well, we don't draw many cards, thankfully, so it's not too bad for us. On ladder, not just on tournaments. Yeah, no, 100%. I completely agree that, like, Mythic ladder is just filled with people who used VV Cauldron to get Mythic, I feel. And now are just, like, retiring and just playing whatever rubbish they want. I see, like, way less mono red aggro than the tournament stats show. Like, 40% was the meta share of mono red aggro last week, and this is the first mono red aggro game of the day. Don't tell me opponent is, like, not drawn another, like... Has he just rage scooped? His opponent here just, like, brain broken because he hasn't hit a, Okay, never mind. He's just taking his time, guys. We want to prevent damage. We're in that business, so we just block. Bullying people on the internet again? Not quite. I have standards. I only bully Cauldron players. My win rate against Cauldron this season, I feel like, is cooked. I have to, like... I wish I turned on Untapped for that this season. I forgot to. And by the time I realized, I was like, yeah... I also have a sneaking suspicion, because people who are playing Cauldron right now on ladder are just like people who are new to piloting it, because they're the only people not bored with it. We block the one that can prowess, I guess. Alright. Oh, dude, I think our goose is cooked. Oh, hang on. I think... Oh, dude, imagine if we managed to get an untapped land there. Alright. And we'll just make him do all this then. And we have to send... What do we send back, guys? What card here is not going to kill us? I think Hired Claw is the one you send back. Because that has the highest damage potential here. Imagine dragons. Yeah, dude. Imagine dragons. Exactly. I mean, if we hit the untapped land here, we would have had combo. Hit Scorching Shot. What is this, dog? Sure. I'll turn too late there, unfortunately. Alright, I think we die. 4, 7. I take 1 from Needlehead. Holy hell, do we live? If he doesn't have Burst Lightning, we live? Oh, okay, what world do we live in where he doesn't have that, though? Alright, we go first game 3, though. So, if we were going first this game, we'd probably win. Which is a good... This is a good demo of why going first is so important again in the aggro matchup. Because we would have had the untapped mana to be able to combo off a turn faster. Alright. May your starting hand be cursed, sir. Keep. Voila, I bless you with bad hand. Not playing Swamp before Town Greeter would have worked. Yeah, you have made a misplay and played the land before you play Town... You guys are right. I think I autopiloted it. You're totally right. There you go. And this, guys, is why I am not on the Pro Tour yet. Though I'm at going to my RC later in the year, so we'll see. Thank you for pointing that out, though. I don't know how I did that. I must have just autopiloted it. I would have had to mentally decide to play Town Greeter, and then not thought about my turn 4 play. When is that? It's January next year in Australia. So I've got time. That's kind of why I'm just like trying wacky decks that look like they have some legs. Alright. We'll just look for cards, I think. Harvester. It's probably unauthorized exit, actually. Interaction is king. Have you booked accommodation? Hell no. I'll probably figure that out a little later in the year. I don't think plane tickets are gonna spike because of the influx of Magic players heading to Sydney somehow. Surely not, right? Australia doesn't have like the big conventions like America does. I think it's gonna be like a 150 to 200 player tournament max, I would say. No way he's on one land again. Surely not. I can understand making the greed like, oh, I've only got one land in my hand. I guess I will, you know, draw into my next thing. I get making that mistake once. Like, greed takes us all sometimes. But holy hell, to do it 2 games. I think he's just scooped it up. Alright, well, we'll remove your thing. In honor of our fallen friend here, we'll remove his 1 creature. Oh, he's like a sleeper agent. He draws his 2nd land and he reactivates. That's awesome. Town Greeter in my grave. So, because I really want to hit this land drop, I think we Overlord. Oh, wait, oh, I can't though. Ay, ay, ay. There will be no Overlord. I got my order mixed up. I guess I have to Steam Core Scholar and draw into a land. Oh, sick. And there's Bringer. Bringer for the grave. He won't let getting burnt by him sway him. I admire the commitment. Honestly, like, I've lost too many games from that. Like, every time I do it, like, if it's game 1 or 2, it triggers, like, a trauma response in me where I will not keep a 1-lander for the rest of the set. Hell, for the rest of the day. What are we on the bin? Do we just, discard a creature card? I think I will discard this Vein Ripper, please. And I will grab this Botanical Sanctum for fun. We'll go to combat, swing 2, and we'll animate. Here we go. Here's the Bringer. What do you do when your opponent here, honestly? All these triggers, too. He's just mega screwed here. And we'll take a starting town for life gain. Why not? So we're on 20 now, with a board full of creatures. I don't think there's a world red aggro comes back from this. But look, power to you, bro. If he plays Screaming Nemesis, you know what? He can deal 3 damage to me. I'm okay with that, I think. Opponent's gone back to sleep. Yeah, honestly. He's deactivated. Maybe he's like a bot. Do you think he like detects if he has like a way to play and he just like activates? This is weird. I think he's actually rage scooped. I think bro was on tilt drew the second land, was like, maybe this game isn't so bad after all. And then I did this to him and he's like, I'm out. I think that's it. I think he's actually just like, oh boy. I'm glad we're getting Fleem's reaction to all this though, you know, right? Also, can I just say, 100 viewers right now. You guys rock. Seriously. Thank you. I'm glad you're all being here. Shout out to you, the watcher, right now. Alright, let's put him out of his misery. GG, buddy.